Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Missional Mamas. It is so great to have you with us. I'm here with another beautiful guest today. This is Jackie. Welcome, Jackie. Thank you so much for joining us today. What a treat for you guys today listening. This is a woman of gold, and I just cannot wait for you to hear what she has to share today. So, Jackie, welcome. To start off, one of our little traditions has become to ask if your life had a soundtrack, what would the song be playing right now?
That's an excellent question. And by the way, thank you so much for including me and for your kind words. There's a song for King and Country that absolutely gets me going called Joy. And I love it. And it talks about I choose joy. And when times get hard, I choose joy and I teach
Yeah, I
about
know that
joy.
one.
And it's one of my all-time favorite songs. So that's kind of
Oh,
the first answer that comes to my heart.
oh, lovely. Oh, that's really nice. And absolutely, I can attest that that just radiates off of you. So I love that. So to introduce yourself a little bit, could you tell us some of your story and some of how you began in motherhood and then missions, and maybe like how you got to where you are now?
Sure, sure. Well, of course, when my children were little, our first one was born while my husband was in veterinary school, and the plan was for me to get him through school, and then he would get me through school. But the kids started coming before I could go back to school. But I'd always known that my primary mission in life was with my children, to be at home with them and to raise them and walk with them and encourage them, and had no idea what that looked like. But as I began uh, motherhood, then that became my primary mission in life. That's my one of my favorite mission fields is young children. And so we have three sons, um, and I stayed at home with all of them until I was 45 and went back to nursing school. And from 45 until 55, when I was called into full-time ministry, then I worked part-time as a nurse. And of course, the doctor, uh, Mrs. Doc, as I was often called, the doctor's wife, but we were also very active in ministry in our church as well. And so there was supporting, teaching, trying to do administrative work, all kinds of things that we did even while we were both working. And oftentimes our weeks would be 100 hours of work or more between housework and running after kids and veterinary practice and church board meetings and teaching and studying to teach. And we also did deliverance ministry and some counseling, and until the Lord called us into full-time ministry in 2012. And at that time I went back to college to get a degree in psychology, Christian counseling. And we have been then as full-time missionaries since 2016. We've had the joy of being the directors of the Kaleo International Schools, both of missions and of leadership. And so far, as best we can tell, we have taught people from over 100 different nations in the world, which I love. I've always loved to travel. And so it just kind of blows me away that the Lord would provide me a way in what we're doing to meet so many people from all over the globe. It's just amazing to hear their stories and to try and sow into them and speak into their lives encouragement and help them find their healing, deliverance, whatever it is that they need, while remaining theologically very, very well grounded in Scripture. We believe that our first loyalty must be to the truth of Scripture, because that truth is our standard. That's everything that we live by is based in that standard. And so we've just finished a school of leadership, and this is our fourth school this year, and we will have four again next year. And we just always try to lift up and sow into the lives of those whomever the Lord brings into our life. That's who our family is. And so we try to be families. But the most important mission field I can think of is often one that is overlooked in importance, and that's being a mom. And it can get very lonely, and I understand that completely. I had lonely times as well. But there's so much that you can do while you're in that mission field, beginning with teaching your children the importance of staying and stewarding the Lord's presence through reading scriptures to them and with them, through praying over them, through worshiping with them, through encouraging them as you bring them into whatever it is that you're doing in the moment. Even if it's making cookies, they know they're loved, and when they know they're loved, they know they're safe. And so when you bring them into your spiritual world like that, you're actually laying a foundation for them that they will keep for the rest of their days, according to Scripture. And I just love telling moms who feel like, oh, I'm just rocking a baby and I'm just cleaning a house. No, you are sowing into the kingdom seeds that will bring, the Lord will bring forth a harvest from that you will never expect.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so, so beautiful. And like, just another encouragement to me. I've always said this podcast is like just like a selfish one, because it's all the people that I want to talk to and I want to interview and hear these stories for myself. And yeah, I really think that's very beautiful for me at the moment in the season of motherhood that I'm in.
Good. I hope it will bless you as well as the many who will be listening.
Yeah, thank you. So can you share a little bit about what you do currently, like what your weeks and months look like? I know that they're very different, like no 2 days are the same. So can you share a bit about what life looks like for you at the moment? And then, maybe just start with that and we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, as I said, we just finished a leadership school, and that's 3 weeks long, and we usually are in class 5 days a week. The students have outreach on Saturday, and then we're busy ministering on Sundays, including the students. And so our day, in addition to that, we host our guest speakers. So our days usually begin kind of early. We have worship at 9 o'clock, we have class at 10, we have another class at 2, and then we have small groups in addition to that. And then we get to go home and host some of the most amazing people I've ever known in my life. And of course, that's really hard work. But we love it because we get to exchange that joy of family with these very precious people who come in and sow into our schools so beautifully.
Yeah. And where is that? Where are you hosting these schools?
We currently are in Reynosa, Mexico, and we have a lot of people who say, wait, Reynosa? What do you mean by Reynosa? It's a dangerous place, but we actually have a thriving ministry here. We work with full confidence in our safety. We actually, our ministry has helped countless people come out of the unofficial officials, if you will, whom we don't agree with their practices, but we know that all authority has been invested in the people that are in authority, whether it's official or not so official. They truly have become the authority in this area, and that's something that's run through the Lord's hands. And so rather than try and condemn them or try and pull their down or challenge their authority in any way, we've respected it, in insofar as not agreeing with their methods, but in leaving their business to them and they leave our business to us. And they
Yeah.
like what we're doing in Reynosa so much that they will call some of those that have been rescued out of that lifestyle, are still in touch with those that are in charge. They will call and say, hey, something's going down in such and such an area of the city. Keep your people out of there. Or if we have a problem with something, then we can make a call and inquiries will be made. And as I said, that's not in any way endorsing what's going on in Reynosa. It's using kingdom principles to reach the hearts of the people that the Lord wants reached. And so we actually feel very safe. They have outlined a way for the Kaleo students to be recognized as such. And we are, without exception, actually watched over and kept safe. And I think that's just a beautiful principle that's straight out of Scripture that we have been able to use in our classroom to teach on authority. And in fact, I have, if I may, a little announcement. Don has just finished writing a book on authority. And this just came out
Wow.
this week. And so we have taken many of those lessons that we have put in class, and we have it now in a published book, soon to be in Spanish as well, but right now it's just in English, available on Amazon. So
Oh, wow. Oh,
I know,
I'll put the link in the description because
yeah,
that is
yeah. I
beautiful.
know you and your sweet husband really responded to the authority classes, so I wanted to be sure
Yeah.
and let you know about that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And yeah, so you and your husband Don, you teach in the classes,
We
and
do.
for the school that we attended, you did you and John did the majority of the teaching during that time, and it was just a really refreshing and beautiful deep dive into spiritual authority and the way that God has delegated authority and created authority to be like a good thing, like in a really beautiful principle, and the way that the world works, really. And it's something I speak to my kids every week, actually, because they're little tiny kids and they struggle with
Hmm.
why do we have to obey? And so it's been really good. I would love to read that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm so glad. That's fantastic. I'll put the
yeah,
link in the
yeah,
description.
yeah. And
Um,
I don't know if the picture was reversed in
no,
this
it's not.
particular.
Yeah,
Okay, but it's
from
from
chaos to
chaos to
order.
order. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
amazing.
real excited about that. But yeah, and then we do a leadership school here in Reynosa. We also just this past year did our first leadership school in Madrid, Spain, to reach those who are in Europe, and that was a huge success. It's a 2-week school, and we had the joy of working with Abby and Manu Moldenhauer there, and they are going to have another leadership school in 2026. That's on their website. And then we do a mission school here in Reynosa in the springtime here, which is March. And then we do also a mission school in Nambali, Kenya, in conjunction with our Bible Institute there. We bring in people from all over East Africa to come and learn how to be pastors and to minister and to reach people, how to get some inner healing because they need a lot of inner healing. And it's a really unique program there that is described. All of these are described in our website at kaleointernational.org.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Can you share maybe one of your favorite stories about like God's goodness that you just never get sick of telling from your many, many years? And I know that's so hard to bring just one story, but maybe whatever comes to mind that you love to just tell this story.
Yeah, yeah. One of the first times that we went to Honduras And this was before Don and I could speak any Spanish at all. So we're there, and we're doing a campaign, and it's outdoors on a soccer field, and it's raining like mad, and we're thinking, what in the world are you doing, God? But we went ahead with the message, and we had an altar call. And while Don was speaking through a translator, I noticed a young girl in the crowd. And this girl looked like she was maybe 14 or 15 years old, but she had absolutely no life in her eyes or on her face, no emotion on her face at all. And the Lord just broke my heart for her and just filled me with such a compassion that I began to pray for her. And of course, I have a translator there, but my translator is being shared by 3 different people. And so I'm thinking, Lord, how in the world, what can I do? And I thought, in my own strength, there's really not much I can do except pray for her. But almost immediately when the altar call was given, my translator stepped away to help somebody, and the mom brings me this young lady. And we're there face to face, and they don't speak any English, and I don't speak any Spanish. But again, the Lord just overwhelmed me with compassion for this sweet young lady. And so I began to pray for her, and not knowing any Spanish, there was not much I could do except pray in English. But I just kind of opened up my arms to her to love her like a mom. And, when your children come and they're hurting, all they want to do is they need a touch from mom. They need a touch from somebody they know cares. And as I was praying for her, I just opened up my arms, and she came. She allowed me to hug her for a few minutes, and as I'm praying, the Lord's telling me, what is going on in her life, and I began to cast out whatever He told me to cast out one by one. And after about 5 minutes of holding her, she just snuggles into my shoulder. She maybe came up to here on me, but so she was here on my shoulder, and then I realized she's not here. She's here physically. She's not here. And the Lord had her in His presence so much. You've seen people who have fallen under the power of the Spirit and laid in the floor soaking. Well, while I was holding her, that's what was happening to her. And I'm just praying that He will speak to her in her own language. Speak to her whatever He needs to speak to her to let her know how much she's loved. And having been a breast cancer survivor of many years, and having had a double mastectomy, holding her was not real comfortable. I'll just put it that way. Well, the Lord gave me the strength to hold her. She was out for 45 minutes, and I held her, which could not possibly have been my own strength. It was His. And when she finally came back to herself, in what little Spanish, I told her that I loved her, and I gave her back to her mom, and they walked away. And I remember one of the things that I prayed over her was the spirit of death to go, the spirit of suicide to go, the spirit of depression to go. And the mom took her back into the crowd, and then came first to my translator, and then the two of them came to me. And she said, I just want you to know that I have my little girl back. Last week she attempted suicide. And just to see the Lord work where I couldn't possibly, speaking a language I can't possibly speak, it was purely His work. It's just been so encouraging to me that I don't have to have a skill set. I don't have to have a language. I just have to be available. And that's exactly what I think young moms struggle with. I know that's what I struggled with. All I do is I clean the house and change diapers. But that's not true. That's a lie from the enemy. Because no matter where you are, if you've given your heart to Him, He has given His heart even more fully to you. And He can and He will use you if you make yourself available.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You got me nearly in tears. And It's
Well, as I say in class quite often, sorry, not sorry.
yeah, wow. That I would never get tired of telling that either because it really does bring the love of God
Yeah,
just for each person so personally and so beautifully.
yeah.
Yeah, wow. How did you kind of when you started coming into missions and you started to do more full-time ministry? I'm assuming, I mean, your kids were grown at least, but did they start having grandkids and families of their own? How was that sort of shift in being a mum, but also kind of changing your role to grandma and then changing into like being away and coming and going? How did that kind of shift in your mindset about motherhood and about like your role? How did that kind of intersect with when you moved into missions and ministry?
It's a great question. We, of course, we felt that call into full-time ministry, and so we began to look to see where the Lord wanted us to go through a mission school because we believe in education. The Lord does the work, but He likes for us to be prepared, and we wanted to be as prepared as possible. But we also talked to our children, and they all three of our sons and both of our daughters in love. And I use the term daughter in love because I don't like daughter-in-law. They're my children. And they to a person they said, "Yeah, we know this is where you both belong. You have our blessings." That's before they had any children. And with their oldest son and his wife, they were married for 15 years and told they could never have children before their daughter came.
Wow.
And so them being the oldest of the set, we were beginning to wonder, okay, when are we going to have some grandkids? But at peace all at the same time. And then I went through during the 3 years of preparation that the Lord graciously allowed us between 2015 and 2012 and 2016 when we went through harvest school in Mozambique. He allowed us 3 years of grace to prepare our hearts and to prepare our family. And our oldest grandson was born during that time. Our granddaughter was born during that time. Our second grandson was born just a few years after that. But they have been so gracious to give us as much grace as they can. They understand that Nana and Papa are not there as much as they would like to be. And it's, I mean, the scripture is very real when it says if you leave your family, if you leave your home, if you leave your friends, the Lord will provide. And He'll give you a generous return on whatever it is that you've sacrificed to pour into your ministry. And He has done that because I feel that with all the students that we've had, we have a huge family. And while I was in Pemba in Mozambique, I asked the Lord because their three questions during that entire school are, where are you called to? Who are the people you are called to? Where will you go? Your country, your tribe, and your unreached people group is their terminology. And it's a 9-week school, and we're down to the 8th week, and I'm saying, Lord, I've seen people all around me, and they've got the answer to all three of those questions. And during this time was also when we met Josh Muse, and he's now who we work with full time. But we knew instantly that that's who the Lord had sent us there to meet. But I asked the Lord, I said, why am I not hearing? Is there something wrong? What do I need to do? And he told me very sweet, and I'll probably cry when I tell this because I usually do. He said, your nation is wherever your foot is. It's not a particular nation. I will bless you wherever your foot is. So your tribe is the person in front of you. And so whoever it is that I bring into your life, they will be your family. And your unreached people group are the pastors and the missionaries and the hurting. And I just broke down and wept, and I said, Lord, I've never really been anything but a mom. And he showed me a beautiful, beautiful vision of Abraham standing on the mountain with the stars all around him. And I knew as soon as he showed me that I was going to be mom to many, many more than I could count. And so as we go into family gathering this next week here in Mexico, with the return of all the people around us, there's usually 300 to 400 people here, and most of them have been through one of our schools. And so, I don't lack for family. Do I wish that I could be closer to my grandkids? Yes. But I have so much to be thankful for in the people that are around me, that it's truly, it's okay. It's okay. And to see them sow and to be set free to sow into the lives of other people is worth whatever it is that we need to do.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, you got me so good.
And you're one of those that we've sown into that I feel like is family.
Yeah. Oh,
And so I just
absolutely.
want to say thank you. Thank you for what you're doing,
Oh, gosh.
because you're on the mission field and you're doing well. And I'm really, really proud of you.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, for those listening, Jackie has been an incredible mum to many. I can attest to what the Lord has done through her, and used that many, many years of just being a mum, and but alongside other things, he's been preparing her and teaching her, and she has then used that gifting and that gentle spirit, that loving, kind embrace, and she has really blessed so many, myself at the top of that list. And that is why I was so excited to have her on today. Yeah, and I hope and pray that everyone would get someone like that in their lives to encourage them and really come around them and just really spur them on in their journey of faith and in their journey of mothering, when it is so isolating and quiet and small, and can be quite hidden. What does Jackie? What does faithfulness look like when you're in that season of hiddenness and small kind of? Well, it can feel very small and it can feel very hidden, but we know it's not hidden to the Lord. But what does faithfulness from us look like?
To me, what that looks like is resting in the assurance that God sees you, that He hears you, that He knows what you have need of, and that He wants to provide that need. So if you need a mom, if you need an ear, if you need the encouragement, all we have to do is ask. And He will send. He will either send a direct word or He'll send you a word through someone else. But if you're looking for Him to speak to you through the people that you're around, you'll hear Him much quicker. If you're looking for the rest, the peace that comes in knowing that this season is just that, it's a season. Seasons change, and they change for a reason. And so the season may not be the most enjoyable at this moment, but if you're fully pressed into Him, even if you hit a wall, Jesus is the wall, and you can always press into His heart more. And He's infinite, and so whatever it is that you have need of, He's always there listening and ready to respond. So much of the time it's overwhelming, because in the isolation we truly come to believe sometimes that we're all alone, that nobody really understands the pain in our hearts. But that's just the enemy's way of trying to get you stuck in the mud so that you can't move. But Jesus bought our freedom so that we could move on the cross of Calvary. And so resting in him means, just as Job said, even if he slays me, I still will trust him. And my prayer has always been, Lord, I don't understand what's going on, but I know you do. So I don't have to understand what's going on. I'm choosing to trust you right this moment. And keeping that connectedness with him in a moment. Do we all do that perfectly? Of course not. But there's nothing wrong with, if you're looking to do that better, saying, I need your help, Lord. I can't do this alone, because the truth is you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing, because that means you're depending on him more than you're depending on self. And that is also resting in him. It's resting in the knowledge that he is Lord, he is sovereign, he knows, and he has a plan for your life that's way better than what you could ever think, plan, or imagine.
Yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah, the psalmist said, delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. That doesn't mean that he's a celestial Santa Claus that's going to bring you everything on your Christmas wish list. It means he's going to put within your heart the desire of those things that will lead you into the center of his will for your life. And then he'll make sure that if you're seeking it, that you achieve those things, that you actually see that come into reality. And he does, because he is above all faithful, and he is just, and he is true.
Oh, amen. That is. I'm just. I feel like I have no words in this, because I'm constantly just going, wow, so much wisdom and so much truth, and I'm so blown away and so humbled by your words. So, yeah, wow. I often have things to contribute, and I think I'm just like soaking in all of this and really just going, yep, like what she said. That's amazing. So going back to when you were in that season of going into kind of, you were full-time nursing, or you were nursing and raising kids and doing ministry. Like it was full-time everything.
Full-time everything.
Full-time everything. Practically looking back, I know that it might be hard to kind of put yourself in that place again, but what were some of the things that you did to manage that tension, and to try and balance your family life and your ministry life and your work life, to ensure that things didn't fall apart, and you didn't fall apart as well? What were some practical ways?
I think one of the things that helped the most is to remind myself that it is seasons, and to keep my eyes focused on the Lord. I would also try and find time for things that would feed into my joy, because I can't feed into other people's joy if I'm not also being fed. You know, you can't give away what you don't have.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
And so if I needed to take the time to go get my nails done, I love to get a manicure. As you can see, I rarely have time to go get a manicure. But when I go get a manicure, I really enjoy it. I also love to read, and so on occasion I would take the time to really enjoy reading a book just for fun instead of studying a lesson. And so those little things can sometimes make a big difference. I would celebrate for the people around me, but especially for my children. I would celebrate their victories. If they had a milestone, your little one is just about to finish kindergarten, and that means the next step, going on into school at a different level, a different way. Celebrate that, enjoy that, instead of allowing the sadness of my little one is growing up. This is more of a step toward independence, because our goal as parents is to raise adults. Yeah. So our main goal from birth until they are on their own is just that, is to raise little ones that can think for themselves, that understand their own faith, have their own set of beliefs based on the scripture. But you're from the day they're born, you're working yourself out of a job. And to that also helps to reinforce that this is a season in life, and one of these days the house is going to be a lot more quiet than I was ever used to, and that's okay. But to celebrate those milestones, when you get your first driver's license, you get your first job. Oh, now before you've turned around, they're ready to go off to college.
Wow.
Instead of dwelling in the sadness of I can't hold them to me, you rejoice in the fact that they're being able to go from you as whole human beings. Because that's the whole point.
Yeah. That's
Does
very
that make
true.
sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And kind of navigating through all of that, holding these tensions, there's always going to be something demanded of us. And so that looking at that, we have to first keep ourselves like oxygen masks on ourselves first before we're trying to look at everyone around us. Even though, as I feel like as a mom, the temptation is so often to be very just focused on everyone around us. And because it's demanded of us so often that it's conscious, you have to consciously choose to look after yourself and choose to put your own needs, especially spiritual needs, first, and finding time with the Lord and finding that hidden place with the Lord. And it can be really challenging to do so. Especially in the tension when there's so much demanded, when there's people always gonna need something from you. Sometimes I think about that when Jesus says you'll always have the poor with you, but you won't always have me. And it's actually like it's when the woman pours out the oil and anoints Jesus with that oil, and the disciples are all confused because they're going, but that money could have gone to the poor. And he's saying, yeah, of course it could have, but this is so much more important for her that she pours out her love for me. And you will always be able to find money to give to the poor. You will have them with you and you will be able to. But this was far more important for her in this moment to serve me. And I feel like that's so beautiful, where it's so tempting to pour out to your kids and to those around you that you're ministering to or that you're in relationship with. But if you're doing that out of a place of lack and out of a place of dryness with the Lord, or just you have nothing left to give, it's going to show. It's really going to show, and it's going to show everywhere, not just in the external, but in the internal and in with your kids. And so that's very wise, practical advice.
One other thing that I tried to sow into my kids is, because I speak to so many who are afraid of failing, I tried always to not jump in too quickly, to allow them to make the mistakes, because most of the time our mistakes are where we really learn. And so the part of the tension between mom worrying about, is my kid going to mess up? Well, yes, I can answer that question. Your kid is going to mess up, and so are you. But failures are an opportunity to learn, not a life devastating moment. And I see so many people, both themselves and with their children, afraid that they're going to make a mistake. And oh no, we can't correct the mistake. Well, that's not true. It's in learning through those mistakes, both the mistakes you make as a parent and the mistakes that the children will make as they are learning to navigate this world around them.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best thing that can happen is for a mistake to be made because it points out something needs to change, something needs to shift.
Yeah.
But the Lord's shifts are always for the best. They're not for the worst. They're not for condemnation. And so when we feel condemned, it often goes back to that, well, I'm just not going to try anymore. And so if you give people the freedom to make the mistake, and it's not that you want to just gloss over the mistake, it's more like, well, what have you learned? You learned that this didn't work. What do we do now?
Yeah.
And teach them to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Then there's no stopping them when they get to be adults.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. That's really good advice. As we're coming to kind of wrap this up, I wanted to see maybe just two more things. Having been a mom to so many, and doing it so beautifully, how can you encourage, like, what's maybe one thing that you can encourage a mom to live missionally in every day, no matter where she is, no matter what she's doing, that she can live in a way that is just at the heart of what the Lord has called every believer to live that missional life?
It's a great question. I believe we're in missions no matter where we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
If we're Christians, we're missionaries.
Yeah.
Some of us get to go away and do that. Some of us get to stay home and do that.
Yeah.
But either way, the attitudes of thankfulness and always being mindful of His presence, practicing the presence of God, are so key, because it's in doing that you have the freedom also to practice the presence of your children, of your husband, of your parents, of your next door neighbors, of your kids' teachers at school, of the people you meet in the grocery store. And if you realize that mission field is always there, the Lord always brings people to us to speak a word to if we ask Him. And so one of my prayers for many, many years was, Lord, you bring into my life whomever today you wish me to speak to.
Yeah.
You open the door and I'll step through it, believing that you'll give me the words.
Yeah.
And then whether it was one of my children or a complete stranger, I have ministered to people in Walmart of all places, people that I didn't even know. And it's amazing how many times people have come to me and just poured their story out to me, even if they just met me. But it's because I'm mindful of, I'm here on a mission, Lord.
Yeah.
Use me however you want to use me.
Yeah.
And that really was helpful for me.
Yeah, wow. Oh. If you could go back and talk to your younger mom self, who's maybe in the thick of nappies and breastfeeding or like toddlers and tantrums and sass and all of the things, although you had boys, so maybe the sass is less relevant.
It's just a different form.
It's different form. Yeah, that's actually
It's
very
a different
true.
form.
I'm in the thick of the sass at the moment, so
Yes,
that's front of my mind. If you could go back and just share with your younger self, what would you tell her about just, maybe not even about anything, just what would you say to her?
That's also a very good question. I think just laugh as much as you can, because sometimes your choices are, you can either laugh or you can cry.
You can cry.
But the laughter is a whole lot more fun.
Yes.
But there's also a little known fact, medical fact, that stress builds up toxins in our bloodstream, in our bodies. Well, the way those are cleansed out of us is to cry. They're actually washed out in our tears, those toxins.
Yeah, wow.
And so don't ever be ashamed to cry. If you need to cry, have a good cry. Enjoy the cry. Don't feel guilty about it. But don't let it go on and on and on and on. So if you need to, you can even set a kitchen timer, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Go enjoy your cry. But then when your time is up, get up and go bless somebody. And that changes your mindset from what's troubling you, which you've now just gotten out of your system, to, okay, how can I go and help somebody else? And it actually helps you in the process.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I hope you are like taking notes, because these nuggets are just a glimpse into like the wonderful world of wisdom that Jackie lives in every day and blesses so many with every day. And it is my absolute privilege to have been able to not only meet and know Jackie, but to minister alongside her and have her minister to me. And now to be able to share her with all of you has just been a privilege. And so I thank you so much, Jackie, for what you've shared and what it's come from your heart. And your heart is such a beautiful place of intimacy with the Lord and surrender to the Lord. So thank you so much.
It's
and
been a joy and an honor.
I just am so grateful for you sharing even just a tiny glimpse into that. And it's a wealth of insight. And so maybe we'll have to have you back on one day when you're between schools again.
Just let me know.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you enjoyed today, please give it a like and subscribe. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can write a review. That really helps us. So thank you so much again, everyone. It's been such a privilege to share today. And I hope that you have gotten something out of it. And I say that, but I know you have. So, so thank you, everyone. Bye.